Hello and welcome back to the channel. Animated Owl here. Hope you're all doing well. This is the beginning of my new series where I'm going to design a game and I'm going to program it as you watch. Not necessarily the correct way of programming, but it's the way I program. And it always works for me. So please feel free to make comments. Tell me where I'm going wrong or tell me how I can improve. We're all here to learn at the end of the day, and that's what this is all about. So, I'm going to do a platformer game. So, number 10, I've just put a rem up there to tell us what I'm doing, basically, to tell me what the program is. I'm now going to do the screen setup. So, I'm going to go to 30, and I'm going to go sub 180. I'm just going to put a rem in front of that, just so I know and you know as you're watching what that line does. So we're now going to go down to 180 because this is where I'm going to start putting all the variables together and so forth. So 180, another rem. Variables. Okay, so 190. Now I'm going to set the variables of the character that I'm going to be using. So I've got it in my mind. I'm going to do like a little man just jumping around a platform, climbing some ladders perhaps. And we'll just take it from there. I'm just going to make this up as I go and see where it goes basically. You'll see in the beginning there, number 10, rem, I've put platformer over 1 because I'm going to experiment with the over command as well in this to see what we can possibly achieve with it. So those are my coordinates so far. The Y and X are the coordinates for my character. It'll all make sense as the program goes on. I've also put let OY equal Y, and I'm now going to do let OX equal X. So that's the old coordinates of the Y and the X for the character as it moves. So basically, so it doesn't ghost, if you like. It doesn't leave the character behind it. So it deletes the character as it's moving. Like I said, hopefully it'll all make sense as the program goes on. 200, let CL equal 0. Let J equal 0, and I'll explain what these are for as the program goes on. SC, we're going to call that our score, and our lives, let L equal 3. Okay. 210, let F equal 5, let A strings equal, I'm just going to put capital A there for a minute. When we introduce user-defined graphics, I'll go back and change that. So 200, I'll put CL equals 0. Let J equal 0. I'm planning on making the character jump. So J is for the jump. And CL, I don't know what that's going to be yet. I've just put it in there. Hopefully I'll just work out where to use it as the program goes on. Paper 5. I'm going to do a nice shade of cyan for our setup. In fact, I've jumped the boat here a bit. Should have put a rem there, and we're going to put screen. Whoops. So you'll see all the mistakes because I'm doing this. I'm not going to try and do much editing on this. So what like I said, what you're seeing is basically live as I'm going. I did think about doing these as a bit of a live stream, but well, if it goes completely tits up, I'm going to be exposed a bit. So anyway, 230. Now we're going to do paper 5, which is cyan. So I'm going to do a nice shade of cyan with a border 5 as well. And I think we'll go ink, magenta. I kind of like cyan, the paper color with the ink 3. I think it gives it a nice look. And I'm going to put the over 1 command in there. Clear screen. So far we've got our variables. We're now going into the screen setup. 240. 240. So we'll start building our platform. And now I'm going to use. Now you could do this in print. You could just print some graphic blocks, to design your platform or whatever. But I'm going to use the draw command. So I'm going to go for P equal 26 to 31. Step 2, plot 10, comma P, draw 100, 0, plot 1, 2, 1, I reckon. I might have. We'll see where that goes on the screen when I boot this one up. I have already made some notes, by the way. I haven't actually written the game yet, but I have made some notes just to try and prepare myself for doing these videos instead of throwing myself right into the deep end and making loads of mistakes, because that wouldn't be too much fun for you guys to watch, would it? So I have made some notes. So we're just going to run that to see what we've got. So there's our first platform. Okay, so I'm planning on doing several of those around the screen using the draw command. Now, I could, if I wanted to, get rid of that step 2, and we could just have a solid platform like that. And I might do that. I might actually go back and do that eventually, but for now, I'm going to just go step 2. So we've got that. So let's move on to the next one. 250. 4p equal 10 to 15. And go step 2 again. Whoops. Plot 230p, draw 10, 0, next p. So let's just run that. So there, now I've got a little tiny platform down the bottom. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off putting all these platforms in, and then I'll return, because basically every line as a platform is going to be the same sort of process, just the numbers are changing. So I'll get on with that and I'll come straight back. Right, so there we have it. I've now done all of the programming for the draw commands for my platforms. If I run it, there's my platforms, okay? So that's what I'm going for. Now, whenever I'm designing a game like this, I like to always design the screen first. Basically, so I can see what I've got to work with. So if I run that again, you'll notice I've left some gaps. Now, I want to do this platform. I want to put some ladders in. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm now going to introduce some ladders, and I'm just going to use the hash symbol as my ladder. Okay, the hashtag. So 280. So I'm going to just jump to 300, line 300, ink black. I'll have some black ladders. I'm going to do it in a loop again for L equal 9 to 19, print. Where are we? Print at trying to find the key. L comma see where 12 takes us. I'll just do 4L. Let's just see where that is. Whoops. Let's just put a next L just so I can see where that is on the screen. Whoops, made a mistake. One that I'm always doing. I always forget to put the at in. So I need to come over a bit to get that ladder into the gap. So that's at 12. So we can see 13. So we're looking at 14. So put that at line 14. There we go. There's our first ladder. Right, let's pull that line down again. So we know that 14 now on the screen. So yeah, I could have kept that next in there actually. Next L, 4 L equal 13. Because if you look, we know that that's 14. So yeah, I'm just gonna, because at the moment L is 9. So 10, 11, yeah. So the next position is going to be 13 because L is 9. So 13. So we know that the horizontal at the moment is 14 for that ladder. So if we come across, what are we looking at? I reckon, trying to work it out here, 18, 13 for L, 13 to 18. Sorry, I'm thinking aloud, so if I'm not making any sense, I do apologise. I'm just print at L. I'm going to go 29. We'll just see where it goes. See if I'm lucky. If my calculations are right. Next L. See where that takes us. Oh, over there. I was actually trying. Let's just see, actually. Do I need to have... Can I get away with one next L? No. So I need to put 2 in there. Okay. That was just for argument's sake to see if I needed, if I could get away with just the one next. So we've got 2 ladders now. Sorry if I'm mumbling away in the background, working stuff out in my head as I'm going. Probably not explaining it very well as I am doing it, but let's put the last ladder in. So 4L equal 2 to 9. Print at L12. Now, I'm assuming if you're watching these that you may already have a little bit of basic knowledge on how to do basic, or you might even be a lot more advanced than the likes of me. So, as I said earlier, if you see something that I'm doing which you're screaming at the screen thinking, why are you doing it like that, you fool? There is an easier way of doing it, then please comment below. Please leave me a comment and I will take those comments on board and maybe make some alterations in the next video and give you a shout out too to say that it was your idea. So next L. So there we go. Now all my ladders should be where I want them. And I've made the same mistake again where I forgot to put the at in. This is a mistake that I make a lot when I'm programming for some reason. So there we go. We've got a problem there. We've got a problem there. Why have I got an extra ladder? That shouldn't be there. That ladder needs to be moved over. So this one here is wrong. What have I done? Why have I got a ladder there? I didn't want the ladder there because I've got my calculations wrong. But I'm now thinking to myself, maybe I should put a platform up the top. So you climb up that ladder, then jump across maybe. So I'm going to put another platform in there. While I'm doing that, you don't have to watch me doing that because basically all I'm going to do is where I did all my draws for my platforms, I'm just going to put an extra one in there for that. So I'll do that and I'll come straight back. Right, so there we have it. So basically line 270, I've just put an extra, you'll see where I've put plot 105, comma P plus 24. That is now that little platform near that ladder. I think it looks better like that. Originally, my plan was to put it to the right, but I'm going to keep it like that. So that is my playing area. Okay, so now I need to we need to look at the character that I'm going to use for this. So I said, for the moment, we've just got the capital A. So what line number are we at now? So if I go 320, print, if I do ink black, print at Y, comma X, and I'm just going to put the capital A. And I think what I might do actually, so that's where our character. Now what I'm going to do I'm now going to create the user-defined graphic for the character. So this is the program that I use to design my user-defined graphics. It's by Big Bad Mick 2000, and he designed this, and it's available on the internet for you to use. So anyway, so I'm going to design our man, our character. So let's start with his head. Maybe something like that for his head, perhaps. And then we'll just do the body with some feet. And then maybe put some arms in. Something like that, perhaps. What do you think? That'll do, won't it? Yeah. Or do I come further down? Don't know. Don't know if I prefer that actually. Yeah, I quite like that. Yeah. I'm going to go for that. I can always change it. We can always change it at a later date. We don't have to keep it like that. So that is going to be my user-defined graphic. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write those numbers down where we've got the data. So it's 60, 36, 60, 126, 189, 90, 24, and 231. So that will be my data numbers. So let's come back out of this. 350. We need to put this inside a loop. So for G, I always put G for graphics. And you've got to go from 0 when you're doing your graphics to 7. We're only doing one character. So 0 to 7, that is 8, yeah? 8-bit. 0 to 7, that's our 8. And then we want to do a read, so it knows where to read to. So I'm going to put DAT for data. And then I'm going to put poke user A. So that's where the graphic will go. It will go to graphic A. So when I push graphic like that and I push the A, you'll get the graphic come up. Plus G, comma, DAT. Okay, so the loop is now, it's reading 0 to 7 for our 8-bit character. So then it pluses the A by the G, and then it reads the data. And there's a fly buzzing around me, so I don't know if you can hear that buzzing, but that is a bloody great blue bottle flying around me. Right, so next G, and then I'm going to put a return. All right. Now you don't have to do it like this. I've done it all in one line. You can obviously break it out. You could put it 350, put your 4 G equals 0 to 7, then 355 read data, then 360 poke user, and so forth and so forth. But because I'm only concentrating on one character for the moment, I'm just going to put it all in under one line. So this is where now we put that data that we got from doing the graphic of our man. So 60, 36, and I'm reading it off my pad where I wrote it down. 60, 126, 189, 90, 24231. Enter. Okay. So hopefully, if I run that, we shouldn't get any errors. We've got an error, 352. So what have I done wrong? Now the reason why it's doing that is because I haven't put a return from the previous coding that I did where I created the platform. I didn't put a return in there. So obviously it was when it was going back from 340, it was going to 180. Look, 30 goes to 180. It was going to line 180, but because I didn't put that return back there, it was just carried on reading the data again, of course sending it out to data. Now when I run it, return without go sub. What have I done now? List 330. Return without go sub. There is a go sub there. What are you talking about? It could be perhaps because it's because I haven't written any more of the program, isn't it? If I put a 40 stop, whoops. Yeah, there you go. There you go. It's because I haven't started the main loop yet. It's confusing it. That's why. Because it's go sub and it's coming back, and it's you know, when it's come back after line 30 from going to 180, it's then returning back. It's just thinking, well, you're telling me to go back to the variables again. So that's why I've put that stop in there. Right. Okay. Okay, so 330. Let's say I'm going to show you all the mistakes because this is what happens when I'm programming, okay? And I'm sure it happens to all of us. You get those head-scratching moments. So now let's put our little character in there. Now if I run it, he should be just sat on the platform and we've got a stop statement waiting for us to continue. So I'm going to leave this video here for now. And the next video I shall look at moving that character. We'll get that character moving and hopefully maybe even get it climbing those ladders. All right. I'm going to list the code up for you. I'm going to pause the screen. So if you want to copy it, feel free to do so and join in this little programming journey with me as we create a little platform game. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.